Hey guys, welcome back to the Podcasters Podcast. I'm here with Kane, and Kane, I'm going to ask you, what have you got to do before you launch your podcast?
Right, so the launch system's really important for a couple of reasons. One, ideally, you want to get into New and Noteworthy as a new podcaster, because then you're being exposed to more people. If you get into New and Noteworthy and you get into the charts for your category, then more people will see you, and then more people will listen, and then your podcast is going to get a lot of momentum from day one. Secondly, if you can get, top 20, top 10, number one, and you've got that screenshot, it's then going to make, one, if you're trying to get sponsorship early on, it's going to make that easier. People are going to take you more seriously. Two, trying to get better, higher quality guests if you're doing interviews. Again, easier when you've got that screenshot to say, I'm number one in New and Noteworthy, I'm top 10 in my category. So that screenshot, although some might say is a vanity metric, goes a long way. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important to follow the launch system, which I'll talk to you about now.
Just quickly before you do, I was going to say we could break this up. You can actually start this launch system before you even know 100% what the title and concept of your podcast is. So talk about how we can, or how someone, before they even know 100% what they're doing, could start implementing this launch system so that when they do launch with whatever podcast they release, it's going to be as effective as possible. Yeah,
absolutely. So this is phase one, which we've nicknamed the pre-launch. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a few elements to this, but the idea is it's about getting a little bit of momentum and a little bit of interest in the idea of your podcast before anything's actually
confirmed.
Yeah, basically. Very similar to how a movie studio might release, a graphic with a title of a film before they've even started recording the film. Like, for example, Marvel have graphics and the name of their next 3 Avengers films, even though, one's not coming out for 2 years and then 4 years and 6. They're 6 years ahead. But it's already gone around the rumor mill. It's been shared on social media. It's people's interest. And we're going to do the same thing. And the way that you do that mostly is, through social media, but more specifically polls, is a good way to get some engagement with your audience. Because as most people know, you upload a post, loads of people will see it, not a lot of people will engage with it. Polls get good engagement. And you can do this on any platform, whether it's LinkedIn, you're in a Facebook group, your Instagram story, and you can do things like, okay, I've got 4 working titles for my podcast. Which are your favorite? And then of the 2 winners, do it again. Same thing with artwork, the concept of your show. I've got all of this expertise in health and wellness for sport, but I'm also a sports psychologist. So do I talk about the physical or the mental? And then, there's lots of different polls and things you can do, which are going to start getting people interested. Because as soon as I see your LinkedIn and you're saying, oh, I'm thinking of doing a podcast. Do I want to do, the psychology and the mental behind being a high performance athlete, or do I want to do the physical? And then you start doing the same for artwork. I already know Ash will be releasing a podcast soon. That's interesting. So now I know that you're going to release a podcast. One, it's going to hold you accountable because you've got that. That's why on our training, that's the first thing we get people to do.
I was literally about to say, it's something we do on our training courses, that first session. And anyone who will be joining our training course soon is seeing this, it will give them an idea of what's to come. But that first session, we spend a lot of time just sitting there with people, concept title ideas, and then you tell everyone, right, now, even though you've just at the idea stage, post about it. One, you're accountable, you're going to do it. Get it out there to everyone. There's your 3 title ideas we come up with. Which one's the best? And at this point, all they're doing is they're sitting on a training course because they're thinking of doing a podcast. They haven't got anything set in stone, but it kind of sets it in stone from it's like, right, I'm going to do it now. And it gets, first of all, helps them get a good title, but it's like you say, it's that accountability, and it's doing it right at the very start. You don't need to have a launch date to start talking about it.
Absolutely. And it's all entirely about teasing. At this stage, and let's put time frames on it, this can be from now, so any point of distance away from your launch date, all the way up until 2 weeks before your launch. So if you're 6 months out, you're 3 months out, you're 2 months out, start now and go all the way up until 2 weeks out from your launch date. Yeah. That's how long phase 1, aka the pre-launch lasts. It's all about teasing. You're not revealing anything, but most importantly, it's about audience participation. Asking people in person and virtually, what do they want? What do they think? Because all humans have an ego. And when you launch your podcast, because they've seen it and they've engaged in your pre-launch in the polls, they've spoken to you about it, they want to see if you've taken their advice. And I guarantee you everybody who's going to engage in that will then go to on launch day and be like, oh, what artwork did they choose? Oh, did they go with the episode title that I said for episode 1, etc. They're going to want to know. And that psychology works really well in your audience. So you don't want to reveal anything at all. Nothing's set in stone. It's all up in the air. It's all what if, maybe, engage, let me know, I want your opinion. And then that sort of concludes the pre-launch. It's very basic. It's just posting and engaging and asking people what they want to see. And that can go a long way. You know, we give people a framework for choosing the perfect podcast name, and we'll link that previous episode below. But if you have 3 or 4 names that fit that framework, but you can't decide between them, crowdsource it. Ask your audience, what do you want? Do a LinkedIn poll, do an Instagram poll. What do you like? And then narrow it down to one. You might hate it, but if you've got 100 people on your poll said that one and 2 people said the one you like, guess which one you should choose.
Exactly.
So it's pretty simple. So that really concludes phase 1.
Yeah. One thing I was just going to end on that, and is I think it's more interesting as well if you was to see someone start posting, oh, I'm thinking of starting a podcast, these are the name ideas and these are the artwork ideas. It's curiosity rather than someone be like, oh, I've got this podcast coming out on this date, this is the name. But it's more curious when you don't know. Yeah. It's like, oh, they're talking about starting a podcast. Oh, and then you more subconsciously, I'd say, interested. It's like you said, it's being teased rather than just like, hey guys, I'm going to be starting a podcast.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like new. And you'll see this a lot, actually. So with design, so whether it's like a new iPhone or what's quite controversial is BMW. Anyone who's like a car person, the new 4 Series has this new front grille that looks like beaver teeth, enormous,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Everybody hated, I follow a lot of car channels and podcasts and things like that, and it had terrible reviews and everyone said it was ugly. But now over time, they're like, oh, actually, I quite like that. It's growing on me.
It's growing on me. I can't lie. Exactly. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, but now I'm like, actually, that's quite nice.
So prolonged exposure to new things will make people start to like it. Mm-hmm. And that is part of the pre-launch. That's why you can start it as early as you want. Now, if you're 4 or 5 months out, don't be posting every day. You can post once a week at that point. If you're a month out, then pull your finger out. You need to start doing this straight away, right? Yeah. So that concludes phase 1, aka the pre-launch. So teasing, just getting general engagement from your audience and getting a feeler out of what they want, and that might influence what you want.
Yeah.
Now, what we'll do is we'll do another episode. So next episode is going to be about the pre-launch, which is from 2 weeks out before your launch date all the way up until your launch date. And that takes a bit more time. That's why I'm dedicating a whole episode to it. So if anybody needs any help with your launch process, because obviously it's going to take a lot more hours than just, the 10 minutes we've been speaking, then reach out down below. We've launched hundreds of shows. More than happy to help podcasters get their podcast out.
Cheers, guys.